Very often I get questions, who is going to be the next president of Ukraine? Will it be Zelensky, Zaluzhny, or maybe someone else you don't know? But as a Ukrainian, and actually more than 80% of us, I will tell you, I don't want any elections in 2024. And maybe in this video I will tell you more why. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. And if you're new to the channel, you support my country, please subscribe and help us fight informational war. And my longtime friends, check your subscription, hit notification button, and thank you for all your comments and support. 2024 seems like a year of elections everywhere. In the United States, in Russia, well, they don't have elections there, and surely Putin will be the only candidate, and in Ukraine. To be even more concrete, this October we could have had our parliamentary elections, but because of the martial law, because of full-scale war, we do not conduct them. More and more questions arise when we talk about the next presidential elections, and I see that many of you believe it's vital for Ukraine to conduct them. So I thought it might be interesting to update you on what Ukrainians think and how likely these elections are. Well, first of all, the majority of Ukrainians do not want the elections because they don't see how these elections can be conducted. First of all, because 6 million Ukrainians are now as refugees in your countries. You know them, you help them, and I'm super grateful for that. But it's extremely difficult to organize the process of elections for them. For example, only in Poland, we will need 400 election polling stations. 400 polling stations for Ukrainians. Also, those who are on the front lines, they don't have access to election places. They will have to control the border. They will have to kill invaders at the moment, and it's really difficult to find how can they do it. Also, this will be a day when Russia will hit lots and lots and lots of missiles on Ukraine, because typically they do it for any important event inside Ukraine. That's why how do we guarantee the security of people who come to vote? You cannot do everything online, especially taking into account that we don't have any previous online voting experience. So, of course, elections, freedom of choice is always a sign of healthy democracy. But from the other point of view, it's extremely difficult to organize that physically when a country is at war. 1/3 of the territory is very, very hot. Millions of Ukrainians are either outside or moved from their houses to other regions of Ukraine. And the worst thing is that the level of support of these elections is really low, which may prove that the turnout of Ukrainians to the polling stations will be very, very low, because they will be afraid for their security and because they don't feel money and time should be spent right now on that, and also because this is always a very emotional process. Observing what's happening in the United States, what was in Poland, it raises so many different conflicts and misunderstandings that we are actually in trouble when Russia decides to use it. What is also very problematic is the fact that Russia always tries to interfere in Ukrainian elections, and believe me, if you live in a more or less big, more or less influential country, it's very likely it has already influenced in your elections too. That's what they do via various hacking attacks, various campaigns. So we have to think about one more problem, how to do all that. At the moment, I feel that Zelensky is very ready to conduct presidential elections, so you don't have to be afraid that he wants to become a dictator and that he will get all the power by himself, because he feels that the level of trust in society is pretty high, and if he has these elections the next year, it's very, very likely he will become the best candidate. Many of you ask about Zaluzhny and his perspectives as the candidate to become a president of Ukraine, but I think he is a very professional military man, and he received a lot of success in Ukrainian counteroffensive, and there are lots of important responsibilities there. So personally, I don't think he will try to be the president of Ukraine, because to be the general commander, chief commander, and the president, these are totally different responsibilities. It's really interesting to know, what do you think? Let me know about your thoughts on the next elections in Ukraine. Should they be conducted in 2024 if we are not finished with this war and Russia is still on the territory of Ukraine? And whom do you see as the next president of Ukraine, Zelensky or Zaluzhny? And answering one of the potential questions, okay, you can postpone the elections, but what do you do if the war continues for 10 years, 20 years? Will you live all of that time without elections? No, because any war cannot continue that long in a hot zone regime, and it becomes like slower. For example, we had elections back in 2014 because it was already the start of Russian war. They annexed Crimea, Donbass, and Luhansk, and it was a problem how to organize elections there. It was impossible on the occupied territories. But of course, the majority of the country functioned, and it was fewer people who left Ukraine. Like, you know, more than 6 million Ukrainians left after the start of Russian full-scale war. That's why we have to realize that if it continues long, something I dread, something that I don't want to happen, but then it will not be in the phase when you have aviation, you have missiles, you have everything that can be targeted any moment. That's why I very much respect elections. I was always very active. I always voted for someone because I believe it's a responsibility of a citizen. But at the same time, I feel it's impossible to guarantee security. It's impossible to guarantee the right to vote for more than 6 million Ukrainians. It's really difficult. It's impossible to guarantee security of international observers. It's impossible to take away soldiers who are on front lines to make them vote. It's impossible to avoid Russian terrorism during election day. That's why perhaps that's a sacrifice that we can make. But I'm very much interested in your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. You see, I'm balancing with the light because I'm in Kyiv. We had some beautiful filming today. I have been to Saint Sophia Cathedral, and if you want to see more, subscribe to my Instagram. I'm sharing stories there. The description, the link is in the description to this video. Join my threads on Twitter and my Discord. Thank you so much for buying me coffees and becoming my patrons. Let me know, would you like a live stream from Kyiv this Saturday? And introduce yourself to our beautiful merch. All the links that you might need are in the description of this video. But most importantly, from the heart of Ukraine, Kyiv, Slava Ukraini!